Hey guys, this is Tom from EverydayGamers.com, and I am back with the questions to the answers that you posed in the Q&A video that I had a couple days ago. So I'm going to try to get to everybody's question in as quick a period of time as possible, while still giving you all the respect that you deserve and answering your questions as thoroughly as possible. If I don't answer them the way that you want, I'm sorry, but I think that I'll be able to answer everybody's question as well as possible, and I think hopefully you'll all be happy with it. Thanks for being patient on the response to that video. I just want to make sure that everybody got a chance to be heard and to ask their question. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get on with this, and we'll see how this all turns out. Now, this will probably be a multi-part video, so make sure you check out every single part of this series here. First question, or set of questions, comes from Simple Elation. His first question is, what was my first gaming system? That was the NES. I was born in '81, right around the time of the Atari and everything like that. However, I didn't get a video game system until about 6 or 7, somewhere around that area. I don't know, it's all kind of fuzzy and hazy to me now. And that system was the NES. I remember getting it with Rob the Robot and, all of those really cool titles at the time, 8-Bit Mario and Rad Racer, and just blown away by what it was that I was seeing before my very own eyes. And from that moment on, I was hooked. Next question that he asked was, what is my favorite gaming system? And I guess I'm just going to take that as, what's my favorite all-time gaming system? I don't know if you mean current or, just all-time favorite gaming system. And that's actually a toss-up between two different systems, the Dreamcast and the PlayStation 2. Now, I have a lot of love for the Dreamcast, simply because I was always a fan of what Sega did. And unfortunately, the Dreamcast suffered from a poor launch and also from piracy issues. The system was just so easy to, pirate games for. And because of that, they didn't see the hardware or the software sales. On top of that, it didn't come with a DVD drive. That probably is really the biggest factor that did it in. Especially when the PlayStation 2 launched about a year after it and had a DVD drive, and the sales took off. Now, I love the PlayStation 2 simply because of the fact that it has an incredible library of games. They're still developing games. We're still seeing AAA titles like Persona 4, Digital Devil Devil Summoner 2. Just some really incredible games to be seeing this late in the cycle of a system. And who knows, this thing could just keep on going on. It's still selling, it's still being played, so it's pretty amazing to see. He asked what my favorite game is, and I can't give you one favorite game. So I kind of summed it up to 5 favorite games. And the reason why I did that is because it's just too hard for me to say one favorite game. So my 5 favorite games, no particular order. Shenmue. I love the fact that game was just incredible for its time. Open world, sort of an RPG style gameplay. You had the quick time events, which that, to the best of my knowledge, was the first time they ever did that. It's at least the first time I've ever seen it. Just a lot of fun. Beautiful graphics. Final Fantasy VII. I know that sounds like a cop-out, but I love the game. I thought that it introduced me to the RPG genre, so I owe that game, something, because if it wasn't for that, maybe I would have never played RPGs. Resident Evil 4, I just feel like, the way they took that series and kind of relaunched it and, gave it this new approach and this new look, incredible. Always will be one of my favorite games, and I just remember sitting down and not being able to put that game down when it came out. Daytona USA. I love the arcade version of this game, and when it came out on the Sega Saturn, it was like the reason for me to own a Saturn. And then the Dreamcast version, which looks even better. It still looks good to this day, but just a really fun arcade racer. And God of War. I just think that, like, the first time I played that game, it was really the first time I played that type and that style of game where it's just like hack and slash, destroy all these enemies, and just the combos you could pull off, still looks gorgeous to this day, in my opinion. And then he asks what is my favorite gaming series or favorite game series, and it's really tough. I can't say, but if I had to pick one, I would say Gran Turismo. I've just poured so many hours into that series of games, and I am a big fan of simulation racers. So for me, it's kind of just one of those games that I love. And I've always loved all the Gran Turismo games, dating back to the original. So, that's that. Next question is kind of this. Two people asked me the same type of question. We asked 000, and then Xenofear 3013. Wiki asked me where do I work. Xenofear asked what is my new job, and that is I work at Wawa, and I am a manager there for one of their stores. Now, what is Wawa? You're probably asking yourself. Unless you live in Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, PA, Virginia. I did say Delaware, right? Unless you live in one of those states, you probably don't know what Wawa is. Wawa is basically a very large chain of, at least in this area, of convenience stores. It's a Fortune 500 company, and a really good company to work for. It's one of the first times I've actually enjoyed what I'm doing and also got paid really well to do it. So it's been a really good thing for me, a really good start to a new career for me, and it's a company that I can see myself with for a long time. So there's that. Next question comes from Sinister Shadows A7X, and he asked, what do I feel is the best PlayStation 3 exclusive? And for me, it's a toss-up between MGS4 or Uncharted. The reason why I say MGS4, not necessarily because I'm a fan of the series per se. I really, I've tried several times to get into MGS1 and I couldn't do it. It's just too slow paced for me, and the whole stealth gameplay wasn't really my cup of tea. But I like the fact that they took the series in a new direction with MGS4. Allowed you to run and gun a little bit more and kind of play the way that you wanted to. Not to mention that the graphics are just beautiful. Uncharted, I felt like it was a really cool spin on the action adventure genre. Adding the gunplay, the cover system, and taking cues from other titles that have done it well, like Tomb Raider, and making it better. And obviously the cover system of like a Gears of War. So I'm really looking forward to the next one. Also, some honorable mentions. Heavenly Sword is an exclusive for PlayStation 3 that I think is an incredible game. I know a lot of people felt like it was very short and too short, but really, I'd rather play 4 to 6 hours of gameplay that I just felt was, awesome and A+ from beginning to end, than 20 hours of gameplay that had its highs and lows. Also, you'd probably be surprised to hear me say this, but I feel like Lair is one of the better exclusive titles. I personally like the game a lot. I had a lot of fun with it, and I know a lot of people didn't enjoy the control scheme, and they did patch that, but I still actually kind of like the original control scheme. Next question comes from Mighty Zebra Sandwich, and that is, what kind of music do I listen to? I listen to all kinds of music. Growing up, I was a fan of hip-hop and that whole genre of music. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so, that was kind of what was big at that time. And I still, like some of that original hip-hop and rap. That stuff today, though, like the stuff they're coming out with, I'm not as big a fan of, with the exception of some artists. But I actually like all types of music, whether it's, alternative rock, hip-hop, like I said. Not a big fan of country, it just depends on the mood I'm in, to be honest with you. But, in short, all kinds of music. He asked what my favorite band was, or is. And it's a toss-up, honestly. It's between Sublime and Journey. And the reason why, first of all, Sublime is, one of my favorite bands is because